Hi guys, how are you? Okay, so we are going to be working on a Pete the Cat handprint drawing. And we actually, you might have read the Pete the Cat book or listened to the Pete the Cat book that we heard today, but this is basically the project. So we are going to be needing to outline our hands and make a face of Pete the Cat. Okay, so I'm going to recap. So what you guys are going to need is a pencil, blue crayon, and that would be like a darker blue crayon. So I have a lighter blue, but I need the darker blue because my friend Pete the Cat is a dark blue. You will also need a yellow crayon and black to outline because Pete the Cat's pupils will need some black. So because I want you guys to be able to see this clearly, what I'm going to do is that I am going to outline with a color marker, a black color marker, so you can see what I'm drawing. However, I strongly recommend that when you start your project, you need to use a pencil. The other thing is this: if you need your grown-up to help you outline your hand, that's no problem. Again, let's look at that picture because we want to know where we're heading. So if we look at our Pete the Cat hand print project, you would be using the front part of the hand, the fingers, I mean, right? And that would be the four paws. That thumb should be curled up a bit, higher up, don't lay it down, high up, because that will actually be the tail of Pete the Cat. Now, you're doing two things. You're going to be outlining the hand, and then you're going to be making the face for Pete the Cat. And we're going to go back to, we're going to do the body first because that's the easiest. And then we're going to go and do the face. Okay, so here goes. All right, so first thing you want to do is have your paper. I'm going to lower this so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And then you are putting your hands out. You need to make sure that you are stretching out, spreading out your fingers, right? So you should be able to put other fingers inside there. That little tail that's going to be the tail, that needs to be arched up a little bit higher. So what I'm going to do is now outline. And again, if you can't do this yourself, you could definitely get your grown-up to outline it, but I really want you to try because there are a lot of fantastic art projects that involve doing hands. And I am carefully going around because I want to make sure that I really get the outline of my hand. I'm keeping my hand still. That's super important. Again, I'm arching up, so that tail should be a little bit up, right? Or up more higher than this. And as you can see, I can't close my hand, right? So I'm left with this. And I'm going to go ahead and circle that part in, like finish it up so that it looks like this. This will then be the paws, right? And this will be the tail. So cats have nails, right? And some people call it claws. They're a little sharp. So what we're going to do is we're going to get each paw. We're not touching the tail, and we're going to just make 3 little strikes. 1, 2, 3. Now they can stick out, but just keep in mind that when you cut this out, that's going to be a little harder to do. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So every paw has 3 little claws. Okay, over here the tail is completely free. Now, the next step would be to get your blue crayon, and you will be coloring it a solid blue because Pete the Cat is blue. So you're just going to go ahead and color that in. Now, the great thing about this project, besides being able to use your hand to kind of help you out, which makes it easier to draw the cat, is that if by any chance you make a mistake, meaning you go outside of that box, outside of the outline of the hand, that's not the biggest of deals. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to be making an effort to stay inside, because that is a skill. To be able to stay inside the area that you're coloring is very helpful and is a skill. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you do that. As you can see, I am coloring really hard. I don't want to leave any white spots because we need to make that a solid blue. Okay, so I'm just going ahead and doing that. So one of the things that I liked about the book that we were reading today about Pete the Cat and playing baseball is that even if Pete the Cat was not, I want to say the word successful, right? successful in winning or doing something. Like he tried and he didn't get upset that he didn't, let's say, win the game, or well, he did end up, his team won the game, but he didn't get to, let's say, bat the ball, make the home run, right? He was very happy that he tried. And this is something that is important, not just in playing sports, but in life. You know, like if we find something that's particularly hard, the important, oops, I broke my crayon. The important thing is to really try. That's like one of the most important things to try. And obviously, the more you try, the better you get at something. And sometimes it, not necessarily so, but for the most part, the more you try, the better you get at something. And I know that it could be a little frustrating to not maybe get where you want to get, but you need to keep trying. And if someone else gets it, so is able to do something that maybe you're not able to do, another key thing that I really liked about that book is that you still are happy for that person and you still say, great job, that was awesome, right? You need to be happy for other people when they do well and not look at it like, well, that person can do it and I can't, and get upset or stressed out about it. No, it's okay if you can't do it. That's perfectly fine. You just keep trying and you're happy for the other person. So I'm coloring that in solid. I'm going to go ahead right after I finish this, because this is going to be the body. So when you are coloring this, you need to color it completely. I have a tendency of moving my paper around, and the reason I do that is so that I can really get in there. I'm trying to go in one direction, but now I'm going a little bit, not so much in one direction, but because I'm kind of doing it a little quickly. But I want this to look like a solid blue. Another thing that you can do is if you have construction paper, color construction paper, you could easily cut it out. But it is a good skill to be able to color and stay inside. So I have a solid blue hand. Now, we're going to look at my friend Pete the Cat's face. Back up here. Okay, so Pete the Cat, one of the things that really stands out about Pete the Cat is that he has these ginormous eyes. The eyes are beyond enormous. They're super big. They take up a good part of his face. And it's also important to note that his head is bigger than this. So if you were to make a tiny head, that wouldn't really look like Pete the Cat. So you need to think of proportion when you are doing the hat. The other thing is that if we look close enough, we can also see that his nose is an upside down triangle, right? We've done eyes, or we haven't. If we haven't, we're going to. And his chin is very sharp. Now, I happen to have a toy that is not Pete the Cat. It's a pillow. It's my, call him my hip hop cat. And he is very similar in that his chin is also going in there and his eyes are big, but not nearly as big as my friend Pete the Cat. So I need to plan out, how am I going to draw my Pete the Cat? So head. So again, the eyes have to be big. You could do two things. Either A, you can draw eyes on the side and then cut and glue, or like what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be drawing directly on the face. So let me just go ahead and zoom into what I'm doing. And I'm doing it in the same paper as my hand. So if you can see, the head needs to be wider than this, right? So if I were to fold my paper, I need to make sure that it is taking up a good spot. So the head has obviously two ears, so we're going to go ahead and make a chin. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have enough space. We're going to make that sort of V with a slight curve, right? And then it's going to extend a little bit more to the side, right? Then we go up, up, and we go up. So it looks like we're doing a house, right? And then we go down, down right there, and that makes the ears. And then we cut across. So that is a nice big face. Now, the eyes, and this is something important, that when we are drawing eyes, we do this with humans as well. It is sad. Another big one, because his eyes are really big. We would obviously make our human eyes smaller. Sad. And then smile. Smile, right? His eyes, he has pupils. Now, cats usually have a straight line, but Pete the Cat has like these little circular things right here. So you're going to make, like if you're making a U, you are coloring that in, leaving a tiny bit white. And then you do an upside down triangle for his nose, which means that you are going to then do, whoa, an upside down V. Sorry, that was my puppy moving around. Oopsies. Nope, upside down V here. So I messed up, but that's okay. And then I bring it down like this. So that is his nose. They don't have a mouth for him, but I'm assuming that he would have a mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little line there. Okay. Now we're going to be finishing up this video very soon, but what we're going to do is we're going to color the eyes yellow because Pete the Cat has bright yellow eyes. Okay. And we are going to leave the nose white. And we're going to start coloring his face blue. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and finish that up. It's very important that when you are coloring the eyes, that you are not coloring around the eyes. You are not going over with your blue. You need to learn to not color inside another area that is supposed to be a different color. So I know that we want to finish, but we need to be very careful that when we're coloring around, that we are not coloring inside the eye. And that means that we just have to be super careful. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that very fast. Obviously, you can take your time. Okie dokie. And again, we're going to cut this later on and stick it on it. Sorry, the video is a little longer than our 10-minute usual, but I want to make sure that you can see all the steps that are involved. So I went ahead and I drew it. So now all you guys have to do later, and we're going to end this video now, is that you can cut it out and then you stick it on top here. And that will be it. The Pete the Cat will be completely done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day. Bye.